Hi everyone, this is Akanksha Meena, Deputy Editor of Print India. Today I am here with Mr. S.M. Ramprasad, Executive Vice President of Fujifilm India, one of the leading providers of large format printing machines in India. Hello Mr. Ramprasad, how are you doing today?
Hi Akanksha, good afternoon. I'm doing fine. How about you?
I am doing great, thank you for asking. And thank you for taking the time to meet with me today. And as we discussed, we would be talking about Fujifilm strategies to navigate through the COVID-19 crisis and your opinions on the future of the industry, how the industry would evolve, and how the industry would change, given that COVID-19 has heavily impacted the industry. So I would first like to start with how did how did Fujifilm India go about dealing with the COVID-19 crisis?
Okay, first let me start with a message to all the our customers and our partners in this business to take care of themselves as well as their families in this current crisis, which is unprecedented and definitely it requires the combined efforts of each one of us, whether it is the company, the customer, or the channel partners. We need to together work and see how we can come out successfully out of this pandemic, which is unprecedented. So let's take care of ourselves in terms of following all the precautions that are required and put forward by the medical professional people as well as the government. Having said that, in this tough time, the economy also needs to parallelly run so that people don't get affected due to this economic crisis. So, as a company, we are also balancing between ensuring safety as well as ensuring that some part of the business keeps running. So we have taken a call of supporting our customers or dealers by ensuring that wherever possible, by giving the supplies, service support, by and large, uninterrupted. And we have also ensured that as a lot of our service people, they try to provide the first line of support through online. And in some cases, wherever there is this relaxation is provided, physically also they went and tried to provide support to all our customers so that their work doesn't get interrupted, because the work itself is now coming down and we don't want that to suffer because of the machinery not being serviced properly. So we also gave before, in fact, the first week of the shutdown itself, certain tips on how to ensure that your machine, when you are not opening, is switched off and maintained properly, so that when you switch on after 2 months or whatever the period, the machine starts working properly. And in that sense, we are very happy to say by far most of our customers are able to follow the whatever steps we said, and they are able to run the machine even after 2 months or 3 months off smoothly without any issues actually. So we are working by and large in terms of with skeletal strength in most of our locations, and the teams are also operating from home and trying to support the customers. So it's a question of how we support our customer even in these tough times so that their business don't suffer.
Right, that's a very valid point because a lot of businesses have suffered, massive losses due to the problem. And it's good to see that you are doing everything that you can to support your customers and provide timely help if they need it. So that's great to know. And how was the demand and supply during the lockdown and after the relaxation? Did you face any challenges? And if you did, how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I think because the larger part of economy has almost come to standstill, particularly in the first 2 months in April and May. So I think the graphic arts printing or the graphics printing as such has also almost come to a kind of a standstill. But slowly from later part of May, things have started moving around as such. And also what happened is because for this management of COVID and COVID rules and regulation also required some level of the communication to be given to the people in general and also affected people in particular. So whether things like signages, direction boards, and the spaces were marked for people movement, etc. So these were something very unique for the first time needs to be done. So we don't have any solution as such earlier. So a lot of our customers kind of did a lot of innovation in terms of providing some different solution so that this COVID communication as well as management of the public during this kind of a social distancing. We're also using a lot of our product and technology to deliver this kind of solutions. So later part of May and probably in June, there is some good amount of printing happened related to the COVID itself as such.
Yeah.
And the packaging is one area where we didn't see much of a decline, so that continued as such. But the general advertising and branding kind of solutions, which were seen a drastic fall. And this is a time normally, it's a season or the festival time. The peaking will normally start from July, and it will go extend almost up to October, November time frame. So that is a major business we haven't seen this year. But there are a lot of other newer things that are coming. So in a sense, there is some, we can say that it's a 50-50 kind of situation actually.
Okay. And if I'm not wrong, Fujifilm India also launched the new Acuity Ultra in India. How did the market respond to your new product? Were there any?
Yeah, Acuity Ultra is one of the very important product in our portfolio because it's a high-end, high-speed UV emission with a configuration of both 3.2 meters and 5 meters, so that the customers now, in fact, there is a lot of migration that was happening from the solvent printing towards UV printing, because a lot of government were trying to change over to a more environmental friendly print solution. And as a result, we have seen the traction towards UV printing happening across, and also using more biodegradable material, so that this whatever material used is more environmental friendly. So in this process, UV was the preferred choice. And from the mid segment, now it is moving towards the high end because the capacity is required. Of course, in this current COVID situation, there has been a lull as far as I earlier said, in the billboard or the typical branding solutions as such. But we feel the people who are able to invest at this time, I think they will make the best out of it, because the product is also now very well tried and tested in the markets, in whether it's in Australia, Europe, or in US, and acceptance has been very good. The quality is what is the benchmark of this product, outstanding quality of print, at the same time with a very high speed and a very powerful engine actually. So whenever we discuss this product, we're getting good response. Probably people are just waiting for the things to ease out a little bit, so that they make the investment at right time. So we feel in H2 at least we have some good 4 to 5 good prospects with whom we are already discussing with.
That's great to know. And what key areas of growth are there for Indian PSPs that they can look into, that they can focus on, and what opportunities are there for the print service providers, especially in the sign and graphics industry?
See, as I said that currently there are a lot of even in this COVID, there are a lot of new way of communication that are coming up to communicate to the larger audience. So it's not just a traditional way of okay, billboard or signages, etc. But more and more innovative form of mediums are going to be available, and that's where the challenge is: how do we use technology so that in this innovative medium we are able to communicate. For example, in the last 1 month, you would have seen in many of these places a sanitizer machine, kind of a it's almost seen across actually. So there is a good branding opportunity in this kind of machines. So this is going to be the norm actually as we come along and try to live with the COVID situation. We need to prepare ourselves in many ways, and many of this there will be a lot of brands who will be having their products and they want to have their brands more visible in these mediums actually.
Yeah.
Similarly, we will have a number of opportunities coming up. Probably once we get a vaccine and people get the confidence to come back more strongly, I think there's going to be a good market that's going to come post COVID, and that's what we are all waiting for actually.
Yeah, that definitely is an interesting point that you put forward. That we cannot actually assume what's going to happen, and
And
we are
just
just,
to
yeah,
say, talking of innovation, you've seen some of them trying to make kind of even kind of bed using the what you corrugated boards actually.
corrugated
So
board.
yeah, so this is more easy to manage, and also it is more in terms of hygiene and things can be disposed without any issues actually. So these are some innovations some of the customers in India they're already thinking about actually. So if we can extend this corrugation as a printed solution can go a long way in different ways actually.
Yes, that is definitely right, because a lot of print service providers, a lot of links in the supply chain of the printing industry have come up with interesting ideas to help others cope with this problem. So, be it sanitization problems, be it helping people go out. There's definitely was a good response by the industry.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and going forward, what do you think? How do you think that the industry will change? Because industry has already evolving, so to speak. And what changes do you think will happen? What upcoming trends do you observe in the sign and graphics industry?
See, as I said, more and more there will be the digital will come into play. When I say
Mhm.
digital, not just limiting to the signage, but also to the commercial printing. I'm just adding that digital will come into play. Along with that, what we will see is this consolidation of the printers will happen actually, because now with the see you need technology and investment. At the same time, the volume of business is not going to be such that you in fact last we can say 15 years you've seen the mushrooming growth of a lot of small time signage operators actually.
Yes.
And what has happened due to this process is in terms of they work on a very thin margins actually. Now particularly in this COVID condition and post COVID condition, uh, for a smaller signage service provider, it's very difficult to manage as such actually. So this will lead to consolidation. So maybe three or four smaller players together, they can come up and one equipment can be invested by this two or three player and all can share the resources actually. So this consolidation of small players is going to be the key thing, so that the investments for the smaller players will become less, and even with thin margins they will be able to sustain in coming years. So we see that as one of the things. UV getting better traction, environmental friendly technologies getting adapted more actually, and some innovative solutions post COVID, particularly in the sign-in graphics, which will be not just for the sake of signage alone, but with some utility will be added so that it helps the people in general actually. So these are some of the trends which we are seeing actually.
And what about in terms of technology? How do you think that will evolve? Given that a
See,
lot of given that a lot of migrant laborers went back to their homes, and people, the print service providers especially, faced a problem in their manufacturing units. They did not have the resources to
I would
do this.
say that there is both good and bad of this actually. So now, since a lot of these workers who are involved in print industry, they are skilled workers as such actually. So you can't just like that get a replacement actually. So it involves a lot of training to get to that level of skills.
Yeah.
So in one end, some print service provider may be looking more for automation and kind of things. But because now people are also getting used to work from remote in terms of working through online. So it gives a lot of room for people to work from their native place also. He can be typically working on soft skills. So he will be able to make the file, rip the file and send it across. He did not have to be present in the factory actually.
Oh,
So this skill stuff can be used across assets. So uh, we are going to see something post-COVID situations completely going to be different from pre-COVID situation, particularly in terms of skilled labor as such actually. And also in terms of automation will come more, not just because of the current COVID, the migration and worker related, but more related to the scale of businesses going up, because there is a lot of focus the government is also giving in terms of local manufacturing and trying to use India as a manufacturing base on a lot of things. I think this small effort will get into maybe in another 1 year, 1.5 years time space, going to increase the scale of operation across a lot of industries. And I feel that is one opportunity for us to have more automation so that the larger scale of jobs can be handled without any issues.
that's a very interesting point that you just mentioned. Automation and remote working, and you can't really replace skilled labor. I think that is very important point to note, and
Absolutely, absolutely.
that definitely sounds very interesting, Ramprasad. And it was a pleasure to speak with you, and you make a lot of interesting points. And I think thank you so much for being here. And
Thank you. My
it
pleasure.
was,
It's good to talk, particularly to through you. I'm able to communicate to our customers, partners, and
yeah,
the larger audience. Actually, thanks a lot.